Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 146 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. I am really tired, so I just want to say I apologise if I yawn in this episode.
That's fine.
I don't think I've ever been so tired.
I think there is something that we do need to address about you being tired, because obviously you've had a little nap, haven't you, before we've recorded this. So this is recorded on Tuesday.
Yes.
So we came back from Blackpool this morning. Got back very tired. Siân had a little sleep. If you want to turn your head that way, Siân's got, I don't know if they're visible on camera, she's got creases down the side of her face where she's been having a little sleep. Just in case, during this, if you're watching on YouTube.
I haven't been slashed or
No,
anything.
just in case you're wondering, what's going on with the side of Siân's face? Just a couple of creases from...
I just wanted to let you all know, I literally don't think I've ever... I feel, do you know what? You know when you're in your 20s and you go on a really hard couple of nights out?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But anyway, so on this week's show, we're going to be talking about the promotion race. It's hotting up at the moment.
Yeah.
So we look at the possible outcomes. We also look back to our Good Friday game against Bristol Rovers. And we also talk about our wonderful trip away to Blackpool, which was just amazing.
It was great. It was really good, to be fair, wasn't it? I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've had a good couple of days. We've had a good couple of days. It's been really nice. Also, the news roundups from last week, and also we've got our preview of the match against Charlton, which is happening this Saturday at the Stoke High Ras, on our last home game of the season.
I know, it's weird. Even when you just said it then, it just sounds weird, doesn't it? Last home game of the season.
No, it's not our penultimate game, is it?
It is our penultimate game.
Is that what? Game. Yeah, I couldn't remember what penultimate meant. Whether it was the second to last.
Yeah,
it's our second to last game of the season, but it's our last home game of the season, which I'm looking forward to. But very squeaky bum time. Squeaky bum. So much so, I had to add an extra bum in there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it is squeaky bum time. I would completely agree. And I think we've had a good weekend.
We have.
You know, not just with our results, but with results elsewhere. We've had a good weekend, and I think that just adds to the tension in a way, because if we'd have lost both games, for example, and let's say Wycombe had won both of theirs, you're pretty much sitting here going, look, okay, we know we're in the playoffs.
We're in the playoffs.
We know where we're at, but this just heightens everything. It just makes it even more sort of nerve-wracking. Full on squeaky bum time.
So a bit of news. So for all you Parky haters out there, he's been shortlisted for the EFL League One Manager of the Season award, and I think it's well deserved. Nobody can argue. Some fans may not agree with some of the lineups that he chooses, some of the tactics that he has, but we've said this time and time again on the podcast, no matter what your feelings are, he's doing something right, because we've had back-to-back promotion and...
possibly another back on top of that.
So, so he's doing something right. So, really hope that he does well in that and he wins, because I think out of all the managers of League One, he is the best. I'm not sure. It depends, doesn't it, how this one goes. I think he's definitely deserving of it. Is the Birmingham manager?
I think so. I can't remember who was up there now. No, the Leyton Orient manager was up there.
Yeah.
And somebody else. Sorry, I can't remember now.
Who cares? Parky's up.
Yeah,
it has
been. It's been a big weekend. So I think you're right. We don't always agree with everything that he does. We don't always agree with the tactics he uses. We don't necessarily always agree with the team that he's picking. Mm-hmm. But long game here in the long run, it works, and it's working for us. It continues to work, even if. So I've got a hair hanging somewhere. I don't know if that's from my actual eyebrow, but it's just right in my eye line.
They do need a bit of taming, to be fair.
They do. I'm getting to that age now where they do need
Just
to.
have a big long hair sticking out your head.
Yeah. And what he's doing is working. That over a course of a season, it doesn't necessarily work week in, week out.
No.
You'll get a game where you go, that hasn't worked there, what he's chosen to do. And prime example of this is probably Wigan away, Bristol Rovers at home. 2 games back to back where, for whatever reason, if it was what he has sort of said to the players to do, or whether it was the players themselves, and it's nothing to do with Parky, we get these little blips in the course of a season, but a long game, over the course of a season, it's working at the moment, and long may that continue. So fingers crossed.
Exactly.
No Wrexham players in the running for player of the season, unfortunately.
It would have been nice to have seen some, like Max Cleworth in there, Ollie Rathbone.
Yeah, I think Max out of our squad, I think only them 2 had a chance of getting in. Perhaps.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one of them 2 deserved. It is only 3 players, so I think it would be very hard to put them in front of who is already there, but they do deserve to be in that 3, I think. Whoever you speak to will have an argument for them being in or not being in ahead of, depending on who they support, so.
Of course.
But yeah, I would have liked to have seen one of them 2. If you'd have asked me maybe 6 weeks ago, I'd have probably said Max. But I think 6 weeks on to today, I probably would have gone with Ollie in that top 3. So yeah, disappointing, but it is what it is. We
love all our players, so that's the main thing.
I think as a club, we win enough, don't we? So we're probably we'll take manager of the month. That's fine.
And promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, just those 2.
Yeah, quick one about Humphrey Kerr. A couple of things. Saw his interview on BBC Breakfast, I think it was this morning. Very good. Good luck for the marathon. He's running the Manchester Marathon on Sunday. So God help him if we get promoted on Saturday, celebrating that, and then running a marathon hungover. I wouldn't fancy doing that. But yeah, he's doing that. So good luck to that. He also got an honorary... I hate that word. Honorary fellowship from Wrexham University for his work that he's doing with Wrexham miners, which obviously ties in with the Wrexham Marathon, the Manchester Marathon, because he's running it in aid of the Wrexham miners. So
yeah, it was funny. There's actually, I'm not sure if everybody's seen it, but there's a funny video where Humphrey goes round some of the players and asks them how long they think it'll take him to do the marathon. And who was it? Who was the first person that said he would die?
I think Jack Marriott said you'll probably die,
and then James McLean.
Paul Mullin said I think you'll probably die.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's funny.
If you haven't seen it, head over to their socials and have a look. 'Cause it is funny. Actually, is it on? Might be on Humphrey Kerr's socials. I'm not sure. Anyway,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either.
So this week also, so on Monday when we were in Blackpool, it was Tom O'Connor's 26th birthday.
It was indeed.
So that was good. So obviously did a post about that. So happy 26th birthday for Monday. And then yesterday on Tuesday, it was James McLean's birthday and he was 36. So how weird is that? There's like literally 10
years apart, yeah.
With, 10 years and a day apart from both of them. So yeah, happy birthday to you two. I'm sure James McLean was celebrating after his goal at Blackpool, but obviously we'll talk about that a bit more in a bit. So happy birthday to you guys.
Talking about one, I don't think we mentioned it on last week's podcast, but it was Rob's birthday last week as well.
I did do a post, yes. Yeah, he was 46, I think.
Okay, we'll go with that. So 26, 36, 46.
Yeah.
Or is your brain just doing that on its own?
No, I'm sure it's 47.
I thought he was 47, Dunno.
Yes, he might be 47. He might have been 46 before his birthday, but he's probably now 47. I can't remember. Anyway, he's one of those.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Rob.
Yes.
That we do apologise that we never said it on last week's show, but like Siân said, she did do a post about it.
Yeah.
Look, a last thing to mention is no news again. Still no season ticket news.
They're definitely holding out.
They are so holding out to see what league we're in, to see how much they can actually charge us.
Your season ticket's going to cost £1,000 this year.
It could jump up quite drastically, you know.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, but I think we had a price freeze last year. I'm not sure. I get a bit confused. The price freeze maybe was the year before that?
I think it was the year before. I think it was the year. It might have been the year that I got my season ticket.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. It's been a few years since I've mine. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So it is going to increase. I think the question is just by how much. So we're waiting with bated breath to see how much it's going to go up by.
I know that the club are obviously a business, but I do think that Rob and Ryan they've always been very vocal about how community minded they are and things like that. So and they understand that we are a working class town. And there are some people who can't afford hundreds of pounds for a season ticket. So I think obviously they've got to increase it because unfortunately with the world that we live in at the moment, things increase like electricity, water and all the boring stuff that you have to pay on a monthly or quarterly or whatever basis. So they're going to have to increase it somewhat, but I don't think it's going to be like extortionately massive.
No, do need a lot of money for the championship though, if that's where we end up.
They do, but that's what we've got investors for, isn't it? So anyway,
technically, are we little investors though by buying our season ticket all the time? So if
you would like to support the show, you can do so by visiting us at our Buy Me a Coffee or Buy Us a Coffee page. Is it Buy Us a Coffee or Buy Me a Coffee? It's Buy Me a Coffee.
You having a conversation with yourself, or are you asking me?
It's Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
You can do so by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. And there are a couple of people that we would like to thank for supporting the show this week or last week. Linda again.
Linda, yeah.
You are so kind, Linda. She basically supported the show because we travelled to Blackpool, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was after the Bristol Rovers game. She said they didn't play very well, so go and buy yourself a coffee.
Yeah,
she said.
so lovely. And also Chris Rouse, our fellow podcaster.
Yeah, who does the Wrexham roundup. He didn't actually buy us a coffee.
No,
Chris.
He didn't.
He basically, so we have switched the way that we do our pre-game stuff now. We used to do it walking to the ground, but we've changed it a little bit because we wanted to sort of incorporate where we were. And
I can't keep up with him either.
Yeah,
he walks too fast.
I know. So now we have decided. You will have noticed if you'd have watched them for the home games. We tend to try and stand in one spot.
Stationary.
So we've got our little spot now, haven't we? Outside the ground. We've got the ground in the background, and we do our pre-game from there. And Chris was on there, and it was his birthday.
It was his 40th birthday.
Yes,
it was a big birthday.
Happy birthday again, Chris, for that. But he said, I will donate some money to you right now if you sing me happy birthday in the... And I say we did.
Sorry, I was not going to subject you to Ryan didn't care. He subjected you to his terrible singing voice. I didn't want to do that, especially on your birthday, Chris. I didn't want to put that, that dampener on your day. So yeah.
No, and I'll be honest. I did say it at the time. I just like showing off. It didn't matter. And so I sung him happy birthday in a very loud voice in the middle of the street outside the racecourse. So I hope that that went some way to making it a good birthday for you, Chris.
But it didn't.
I don't know. Quick fancy EFL update. I had an absolute stormer of a week. Absolute stormer.
Still not in the top 3 though.
I am not. No. So Ben Parker's still first. Ian Dougal is second, and C Williams is in third. I'm up to 8th. So more importantly than me being in 8th, I am now 6 points ahead of Christian. which is the most important thing, I think, for me. So, yeah, it's...
Next time you want to have a conversation with Christian about the EFL, just message him directly. You don't need to message him in the group that we've got.
No, I know, but that just seems set up, so it's fine. You're in there now, so it's fine. It was... I had such a good week. So I put somebody as captain who actually scored 4 in a game, so that's why I got loads of points. I think I got the most points. I haven't quite double checked it. I think I got the most points in the whole Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC league this week. Great week for me. Absolutely great week.
News.
Yeah, so there we go. Bristol Rovers.
Yes.
Anyway.
Bristol Rovers. Whenever we lose or draw a game, I never like to talk about too much of it because it's just so like, ugh. But anyway, so there was no change to the lineup, was there? Oh, no, there was.
Yeah, so we decided to go a bit more. It's so weird, isn't it, when you have games so quickly coming. It's like, hang on a minute, did it change?
No, there was.
So we decided to go a bit more attacking. So Elliot Lee came. Oh God, I can't even speak.
Who was that? Elliot Lee.
Elliot Lee came in for George Dobson.
Yes.
So it's a bit more of an attacking threat in the midfield.
To see him. It was nice to see him starting.
Yeah, Barney was on the right. Longman on the left. So Barney had come in. Yeah. James McLean dropped to the bench. Yeah. It was pretty much what everyone had been calling for all week, really. They were like, look.
So it's your fault that we drew.
Pretty much, yeah. But, everyone wanted us to be a bit more attacking because, let's be honest, at Wigan, it was poor. It was very poor. It was one of our worst performances of the season. There was no real attacking threat. We were lumping up big, long balls up to Sam Smith, who tried his best, but he was just so isolated on his own. And, everyone was going, look, let's go a bit more attacking. It's not about ice cream. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter what day we record in the summer. There's an ice cream man turns up outside. Yeah. But yeah, I think, it wasn't all guns blazing. It was just, a slightly more attack-minded lineup, with Elliot in the midfield instead of Dobbo, who's, a bit more defensively minded. So it's what everyone wanted. And I do not think for 1 second that Parky did it because it's what the fans wanted. But, I think he recognised that in a game like Bristol Rovers, you needed to squeeze and you needed to put more pressure on them, and sort of pressing forward and moving forward. He recognised that in the same way that a lot of the fans sort of recognised that, which is why they were calling for it.
I think, can I just say, before you move on to your next point, I said this to my mum and my dad, and I think I might have said it to you, but I said that I think that Elliot Lee played differently on the game against Bristol Rovers. I think he played a lot better than he has done previously, and I don't know whether that's because he was starting and he was proper up for it. Not that he's not up for it when he plays, when he comes off the bench, but I just feel like that there was kind of like he had that momentum and that that fire in his belly on when we played Bristol Rovers. So I just wanted to say that. Well done then, Elliot Lee.
On the whole, I think we can probably all agree it was better than Wigan. Yeah. Because it was. We pushed a little bit. We showed some early promise. Max had a deflected shot that was sort of that the keeper saved quite well. I think it was Max again who forced the keeper into a save down to his right. I remember Ollie Rathbone with a cross/shot that had to be tipped over. And it just sort of felt like, it's coming. It's
the goals are coming.
Yeah, because you're in, you're up near the top of the league. They're down near the bottom of the league. They are fighting. We are fighting. So it makes it a little bit more of an, even playing field. Yeah. But it just felt like, we were something was coming,
Yeah.
and it was going to get there. I think we had more shots in the first half than we did in the whole game against Wigan, which
Yeah.
was good to see, and it sort of built up that expectation that we're going to get something out of this, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But we weren't really the only team who looked quite attacking, because I thought Bristol Rovers looked good when they were going forward. They looked like they had players that could cause us problems. I don't think, before what happened sort of half an hour in, I don't think they produced loads, but they definitely had. They looked like a team that could get forward. When they got the ball and they got it down and they started passing it, you sort of felt maybe they could cause us one or two problems if, one or two of the passes went in the right areas. I remember one of their players had a shot on the sort of turn. He ballooned it over, but they got it into a good area. And I thought, it just sort of puts you back in your seat a little bit and sort of makes you go, hang on, okay, maybe it's not going to be the easiest day. And then they went 1-0 up. Absolute disaster. You're sitting there going, it's all right, we got this.
I remember when the ball was going in and it felt like, when you kind of have the moment where you think something's like going dead slow motion.
Yeah.
It felt like you're thinking, and the ball, it just felt like the ball took ages to get to the back of the net, and you thought, and you just, it wasn't a good moment.
Do you know why that was, though? Because when he headed it, it was going directly away from us. So you can't judge the speed or anything. So you can just see, I felt the same way, because he headed it, and then you're going, sitting there watching it, and you're going, it's going in now. It's going in.
Darn
there we go. 1-0.
Yeah.
It was such poor defending, though, because I don't know if anybody has dared to watch the highlights back, but he runs across everybody, and nobody's marking him. He's just completely on his own. So I don't know. I haven't drilled down enough into it to see who was marking him before, but it's so hard to do that these days, because you just get like this little melee in the middle of the box where you don't know who's picking up who. And he just runs. He's completely on his own. Nobody tracked him. Decent header, to be fair to him. At the time, I sort of felt like maybe Arthur could have done a little bit better with it. I've watched it back. Maybe that's a little bit harsh. But yeah, look, we've gone 1-0 down, but it was sort of no panic stations, really. It's fine. We can score two. We've scored two before. That's fine. Okay, you want to score first. That's fine. You get on with that. And then we'll take control again, and we'll go and score two. That's how it was. Is that just me, or is that?
No, I mean, history's proven that we do like the odd late goal, don't we? So I thought, if we score, one goal, then we know that we could possibly get another one just to kind of top the day off. But
Look, we lost Owen before half-time as well, didn't we?
Did.
He went down injured, he went off, and then he came back on. And he lasted till half-time, but he didn't quite look right, did he?
And then at half-time you went in, didn't you? And we were still standing outside, obviously waiting for the second half to start. And Dan Scarr had his full kit on, and was kind of he wasn't doing the usual warm up that they do, where they just kick the ball to each other. He was like they'd moved to one side, and he was actually kind of
full on warm up,
like you do before a game. So we kind of knew that there was going to be a change at half time, and Owen O'Connell was kind of, I think he must have said, look, I can't go back on, I'm done.
No, which just got in really, because he has been a rock this season, and I've got no issue with Dan Scarr playing. I think the one issue I'll talk about a little bit later in the Blackpool game is maybe Dan's pace a little bit, but I think Owen's does lack a little bit of pace as well, so I don't think it's like we're swapping one really pacey centre half for one that's really slow. It's not that at all. But look, second half, Fletcher came on. Fletcher had a header that I think he probably scores 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
But he headed it into the ground, and it bounced up and over the bar. So that was, I think when things like that happen...
That was that?
That you sort of, when things like that happen, you sort of go, oh no. That was when I sort of sank a little bit going, oh no, it's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them days.
Yep, Ryan was biting his nails and bouncing his knee. That's when I know that Ryan is not agitated.
Agitated, agitated.
Yeah, when he's thinking, oh my God, where's this going to go? He starts biting his nails and I talk to him and he just completely just like blanks me. It's like, there's just no talking to him, so I kind of just know to leave him. Actually, no, I don't. I keep goading you, don't I?
You do keep talking to me.
I do keep talking to you.
And I do keep ignoring you.
I tried to be affectionate and he's just like, no. And then I'm like, you don't love me anymore.
Yeah, I know. It is a bit of a nightmare. Look, Matty James equalised.
I thought it was a good goal.
I think it was handball.
I don't care. It was a good handball.
It was a strange one because it sort of came across to him and it just felt like he nudged it on with his arm and then, yeah, good, decent finish. Fair play. It was a good finish, but I've seen it a couple of times. At the time, when I was live in the sort of, in the ground.
In the thick of it.
In the thick of it, yeah. I was there and he did it and I thought, oh, they're going to give handball for that because it just felt like he nudged it with his arm and then he put it away and I was like, no, they've give it, that's fine. And I've watched the replays back and I think I'm more convinced it was handball from the replays than I was when I was in the ground. But you just have to take things like that sometimes. It was quite a congested penalty area, so the linesman might not have seen it. Maybe the ref didn't see it because the ref was behind. Take it. Look, we pushed a bit. I don't think we went all out to win it. We pushed a bit, but we just weren't good enough.
Somebody said, actually, the Bristol Rovers game, they played like they didn't want to lose, but they didn't play like they wanted to win.
Yes.
And I think that's a really good sort of analysis of the game.
I'd said that before as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but it is one of the comments that we've got.
That's probably who it is then.
Yeah. It was another team this season that we have played twice and failed to beat. There's only 6 of them in total that we have played twice and failed to beat. Two of them are in the bottom 4.
You're on 1, sorry.
Not that boring, am I? Yeah, so there's 6 teams that we've played twice and failed to beat on both occasions, and 2 of them are in the bottom 4. Cambridge and Bristol Rovers. They're teams that if it doesn't happen, they're the games you're going to look back at. And you go, potentially both of them are going to get relegated. And you're looking at it going, and we couldn't beat them once.
Yeah.
Fine. If you can't beat them away, that's fine. That's different. You're on their patch. But not beating them at home, it's like sacrilege, that, isn't it? That you can't put away a team that is in the bottom 4. Yeah. We failed to do that on 2 occasions with 2 of them bottom. And you look at another team in the bottom 4 who were already relegated, Shrewsbury relegated. We only beat them once. Yeah. We beat them once and we lost to them once. I think for me, when you think about the games against Charlton away, and you see Charlton now, and we nearly beat them, but we got pegged back right at the end. And, we took a point away from that. And yes, that was disappointing, but that's a team that has got 80-odd points. And
they're on fire.
And you wish you could have held out. And it is maybe a little bit of a what if. But at the end of the day, they're a team in 4th. So you can sort of put that one to one side and go, okay, we've taken a point against a team that are fairly decent.
Yep.
It's these ones that are hard to take. We should have beat Bristol Rovers away. I don't think, in all fairness, I don't think we were good enough to beat them at home. I don't think we played well enough to beat them at home, but I think we did enough to beat them away. But then we just shrank back into this shell of ours of going, just can't quite get it over the line, or whatever it is that they do. Look, a few comments. Mark said, I agree, it's frustrating. I am behind the team 100%, but gosh, that one hurt. Rob and Ryan must be so stressed. Never mind Rob and Ryan. Everyone else is really stressed. Another Mark. Mark Steinlen. Does the end of the season make for a great Hollywood script? Probably.
Yeah.
All the eyes will be on the final episode of the documentary where the mighty Wrexham get promoted after these nervy past several weeks.
David Chilcott, definitely gutted after that one. The only good thing I can find is that now we're the Hunters. We have clinched a playoff berth and the next 3 games are a free hit. Let's go hunting on Monday.
Rick, take the point and run. Not a well-coordinated attack today, but still holding the advantage. We need to win the next 2 games as it's highly likely Wycombe will drop points against Bolton or Charlton. Looking forward to these 4 Easter... Oh, sorry, that's from last week. I don't know, I've left that one in. Sorry. Let's move on from that one. Sorry. Cut. Let's move on.
JPH.
Yeah, but... I don't know.
What
No, I'm moving on. I'm moving on because I've been putting comments in from the wrong week. Look, everyone shut up, right? It's hard work doing a podcast, and sometimes you get little things wrong. So everyone shut up and let's move on and pretend like it never happened. Yeah? Can we all agree to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Rick and JPH, for your comments. But they weren't this week. They were last week, so I'm not going to read them out. So there we go. Because pretty sure we read them out last week. So there we go. Anyway, look, if you do want to contact the show...
And for Ryan to muck it up.
Yes, maybe that might happen. You can comment on this YouTube video. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can click contact the show at the bottom of the description on the podcast if you're just an audio only sort of person. Or you can follow us on Blue Sky X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
That is another thing that Ryan forgot to do on last week's episode. He forgot to put the methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
I did. Yeah, I've had a bad week or so.
Yeah, so Good Friday roundup. So Wycombe beat Bolton 2-0. Charlton won 2-1 against Northampton. Like I said, Charlton are on fire at the moment. Stockport drew 1-1 away at Peterborough.
Where did that leave the table after Good Friday? So Wycombe were back into second on 84 points. We were third on 83. And then 4 points back, Charlton on 79 and Stockport in fifth on 78. Blackpool. Let's move on to happier times and talk about Blackpool.
What an amazing couple of days we've had.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't think we've stopped. Me, you and Alfie, I don't think we've stopped laughing all weekend. Honestly. No. When these two are together, our 13-year-old child and my 44 nearly-year-old husband.
43, that would be.
Yeah, but you're nearly 44. So these two, honestly, they are like Ryan somehow. What's the word?
Regress
back to a 13-year-old. So he has the mental age of a 13-year-old, along with my 13-year-old. So it's very intense. But we have had...
It's not intense.
It is intense for me, honestly. I've got one teenage boy, don't need another. Okay. So we haven't stopped laughing. We've had some, I know this is obviously about the podcast, the football and stuff like that, but, we went to the arcades, we went to Madame Tussauds. Me and Alfie have never been on a tram before. We went on a tram, which is pretty much just like a train, but anyway. Yeah. Or a bus. So it wasn't really that whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had a really good weekend, and then obviously we went to the football on the Monday.
Yeah. On the Monday. I tell you, someone else who went to the football on Monday.
So bizarre.
Rob McElhenney walked past us.
Is it bizarre though? Actually, now
I don't think it's bizarre, but it was
bizarre watching him in the away crowd.
When he a little bit when he walked past us. And it was like, oh,
there's Rob.
Rob's here.
You like Rob?
And then, he sat in with everyone. Because at home games, they got their own little box up in the sky, haven't they?
They don't need to be,
So they don't mingle with everyone. But at an away game, he was there. And he was in with everyone.
There's some great videos of Rob when we were singing like Wrexham songs. He is like proper getting involved, and it's just, and you can see the absolute passion that he has for this club, and the fact that, you know, and it's so weird because all the Wrexham fans that were like around him, just a normal person in the crowd. Yeah, but you sort of have to do that because you're not there to meet Rob McElhenney. You're there. You've bought a ticket to watch the lads.
To watch a game, haven't you? So you just it's like it's a real novelty when he turns up and he's sitting by you or whatever. But you just have to go, right, okay, he's with us now, and it's just one of us. He never
sits where we sit, though. They're so annoying.
No, I know.
I think if we'd sat where we were supposed to sit, we would have been by him.
Maybe, but no one sits where they're supposed to sit.
No, they don't, no.
I tell you who else was there. Eric Allen was there.
Yeah,
so one of the Allen family were there.
Had a game of killer pool in the turf.
Did he?
Yes, there's a video of him playing killer pool.
There we go. Look, it's nice to see, people like that, because he's obviously come in, done a lot of sort of community projects in sort of New York and things like that. And you don't... What football fans, forget being Wrexham fans, just football fans in general, what they don't want is, and it sounds strange, but they don't just want people's money. No. They want something more than that. Mm-hmm. And they want people who are going to be involved, and they're going to do things in the community and going to come to away games. You know, it's not just about throwing money at things. It's, you want people that are really involved.
Think you bought a ticket, Rob?
I would hope not. I would have thought there is owners' tickets that go on sale. That not go on sale, but that the club go, right, we're having them.
Yeah,
and then Rob gets one. Yeah. I very much doubt he is buying a ticket. Look, so the changes we made against Bristol Rovers were reversed for the Blackpool game. So Barney and Lee dropped back to the bench. McLean was back on the left. Dobson was back in midfield. I'm not sure how I felt initially seeing this, because I thought I was one of the ones who wanted to see Longman one side and Barney on the other. I'm not going to lie. And then when it happened on Good Friday, I was sort of like, well, I was wrong then.
That was disappointing.
Because that didn't really produce very much. And then when you get Jimmy coming back, sometimes when you completely reverse the changes that you've made for the next game, it sometimes feels like you're taking a step backwards. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because you're going, right, we're taking a step forward at being a progressive and forward-thinking team. But then when you revert it back, you feel like you're taking a step backwards. But I've got to be honest, for all the stick that Parky gets, he knows what he's doing, because he absolutely does, because it worked so well against Blackpool. It was one of the best performances I've seen in a while. I'm not saying this season, but in a while we looked so good. Yeah. We obviously had Dan Scarr come in. O'Connell must be pretty fit because he was on the bench. Yeah. But he didn't start. Dan Scarr started.
I thought he played well.
Yeah, what I was talking about before, there was a couple of instances where they had a couple of quite nippy players, quite fast, sort of wingers, and I think there was two occasions, one that really sticks in my mind, and that was from the first half. One of their wingers knocked the ball sort of past Dan, give Dan a couple of yards head start, and beat him to it comfortably. So Dan looked quite slow. But again, I'm not saying Dan is particularly known for pace. Dan's very much win everything in the air. That sort of a bit of a man mountain, sort of like you're not getting past me. But when people do get past him, he hasn't really got any pace in the locker to recover it. Weirdly, now I've said that, he did actually recover, and he gave away a corner in the end. So, so there was a couple of occasions that he did worry me, but not from anything he did when a player's in front of him, he wasn't really getting beat very much. He's winning everything in the air. He's comfortable on the ball. It's just his one downfall. I think he just lacks a little bit of pace, especially against a really fast sort of striker or winger or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought he was very good, but he was one of many on Monday. It was a must-win for me. I think Monday.
I don't think you're the only one.
No, I think we had to win that one, and I think we had to win one of our Easter games. And I thought, if I'm honest, I thought we would win Friday, and I thought a draw Monday was probably okay, and it wasn't the end of the world. But then once we'd drawn on Friday, because I felt we had to win one of them games, that had to be Monday then.
Yeah.
But from the first minute, we looked on it. We looked, where there was passion, there was work rate, there was effort. We looked sharp. There was still a bit of, side. The recycling, the ball going backwards and sideways and recycling it back round. It looked like it made sense on Monday, and we weren't just playing it back for the sake of playing it backwards. It was an instance where we were looking forward, we were pressing. Okay, there's nothing. Let's go back and let's recycle and okay, we'll take it back there, and then we'll go out to the right.
And it worked.
Nothing that way. Let's go back out to the left.
Yeah.
It made sense on Monday, and I think where it falls down, the way that when we play like that, it falls down when we slip into doing it when it's not necessary.
Yeah.
That's when it looks bad. And that's when it's like, well, what are you doing? There's passes forward here. And we've just got in that mentality of recycling and going back round. But look, I think we probably should have been 2 up by half time.
Definitely.
McLean had his chance where I've watched it a couple of times, and I don't know how he doesn't score. The keeper makes a really good save, but
That's why.
Yeah, but I mean, I just didn't put it wide enough of him. And I mean, if he wasn't completely confident on his weaker foot, Longman was right there. He could have just passed it to him.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we hadn't scored that. I think Rodriguez, it felt bad at the time because he sort of blasted it straight at the goalkeeper when he was sort of clean through. I've watched the replay back, and the keeper is quite close to him when he gets the ball, and he was a bit too close to lift it over him, so I sort of let him off that one, but I still probably felt we could have been 2 up.
Yeah.
We limited them to very little in that first half. I think the only thing, I only remember Arthur making one save. I think it was Apter's shot that I think was probably already going over, but Arthur sort of tipped it over just to make sure. And they got a corner.
Didn't even have to move. He just went.
But yeah, look, Wrexham 0-0 at half time. No real shock there. That's our go-to half-time score.
Yeah.
But it looked good. I was nervous, but I wasn't. But that was because of the circumstance, as opposed to what I was seeing on the pitch. I think on Good Friday, I was nervous because I didn't feel like we were playing well enough. Plus the situation that we were in, in the league.
Yeah.
That made the nerves even worse. On Monday, I was nervous because of the situation, but not so much about what I was seeing on the pitch, because I felt like we were doing the right things on Monday.
They didn't, and we said as well, they didn't score in the first half because they were obviously shooting the goal which was furthest away from us.
Yeah.
Then obviously in the second half, it was literally right in front of us. So that's why they didn't score in the first half, because they wanted to keep all the goals for
down
us,
our end. Yeah.
For us. Yes. That's why. So we're really sorry they didn't score in the first half, but it's just purely because they wanted to score in front of us.
Maybe.
Oh, that would be so amazing if that was true.
Yeah, we can score when we want, right? So what we'll do is we'll keep it for when we're down the other end by the fans.
Give Shannon Ryan a show.
Yeah, look, second half, more of the same. Jimmy had a header. He beat his man completely, put his header over the bar. That was poor as well.
But I think he knew that, though.
Yeah,
I think
he did.
it wasn't like, you know, he knew that he'd like, you know, he'd maybe cocked it up a little bit. But yeah, I think, yeah.
He just seemed destined to score, I think,
Oh,
on Monday.
definitely. He was. See, James McLean is always up for it.
Yeah.
And I think it's so weird that he's just got this. He's just like a lot of the players, but like James McLean, he's just like one of these people who, you know, is just like, I'm up for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to score. And then when obviously he had the 2 chances that he did, you know, the first in the first half and the one in the second half, it was like, you know, you could tell he was frustrated, and it was like, right, I think he thought to himself, come high or hell water, I am scoring a goal in this game.
Well, destiny came about.
It did.
61 minutes. And, you know, we had a corner, got cleared. Just a shout out for Dobson's first time pass, which was sublime. He played with his wrong foot as well. He's obviously, I think he's right footed. I think he is. He swept the ball back out to Jimmy. Perfect pass. Jimmy cut inside. Because it's Jimmy, I'm not going to claim it was a cross. I'm not going to say that he was trying to just get the ball back into the middle for somebody to I'm going to say it was a complete out and out shot. Yeah, okay. I'm saying that. Okay, out and out shot. I'm just going to say that. Anybody else, maybe I might say that he was just trying to get it back into the middle, you know, for somebody else to tap in. But because it's Jimmy, I'm just going to say it was a shot. Okay, so that was 1-0. Celebration, loads of emotion in the celebration. Kicked the advertising hoardings, put his hands to his ears, cupped his ears to the Blackpool fans who obviously been, you know, sort of like booing him all
it's just
game.
Come on, opposing fans. It is so boring now.
And look, no, just let him carry on, because it obviously fires him up enough.
I know, but we've said this before. Half of the people who boo him probably don't even know what they're booing him for, and it irritates the hell out of me.
That is true. That is true. Look, 3 minutes later, we made it 2.
Oh, Lolly!
Yes, Lolly made it 2-0. I think another shout out for this goal for Jay Rodriguez. Longman put the ball in. Lovely control from Rodriguez. Held it up perfectly. Passed it out to Rathbone, who just sort of passed it in, really. He was, you know, and he came and celebrated right in front of us, which was great, because we don't get to, as fans who in home games sit on the halfway line.
We don't usually.
We don't really get.
We did that once when Stephen Fletcher, but that was because I think Humphrey Kerr was up there. So yeah.
So we don't have fans celebrating right in front of us, which is
players.
Sorry.
You do have fans celebrating in front of us.
You know, so that was really nice as well. 2-0. I think just a shout out to Blackpool. I think you might want to just have a little look at your scoreboard and check your clock. There's definitely something wrong with it, because it was going so slow after that. Every time I looked at it, I don't think it had moved. So I think you need to check that out.
I don't think it was anything. I think it was just the fact that we were so like, right, we've got to keep this clean sheet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, but Blackpool, to be fair to them, you know, obviously they were fighting for points as well, and they did play to the death, and they, you know, and you know, it kind of
they scored right.
I was going to say it, but there was, you know, it was sort of one of those feelings, wasn't it? It was like, oh, you know what, we've come this far, 2-0, and then they, you know, the last few minutes they get a goal, and it's like, oh, boo.
It was actually, I think it was 8 seconds before 95 minutes when it was due. So I think there was 8 seconds. So I was quite confident we're all right.
Yeah, but a lot of the honestly, it's the best chant in the whole entire world. When opposing team fans are losing, and their fans just like, oh, I've had enough. They were like little ants scurrying out of the stadium, and then all you can hear is Wrexham fans singing, "Is there a fire drill?"
Yeah.
And honestly, I just love that chant so much. It's so funny.
It is a good one. It is a good one when you're winning and you see the other fans.
Is there a fire drill? I just love it.
Yeah, I know, it is great. Look, we can't gloss over the fact that I got my prediction right.
Yeah, thanks Blackpool for that.
Yeah, I was happy not to get it right. I'd gone for 2-1. We were 2-0 up. I was happy not to get it right. To be honest, I would have rathered Siân got hers right, because she went for 3-0. So at that point, 1 goal either way, one of us was winning our prediction. Look, I was happy to take it, and what that actually means is I am the champion this season. Siân can now not catch me. So you have to present me with a little trophy.
You'll get a plastic medal, and that's your lot. Just
Okay.
like I got last year.
You got a little cup, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I got an Amazon medal,
Okay.
which I think was Alfie's when he played sports day in primary school. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I've got to
That's fine.
find it though, because I have no
That's fine.
idea where it
That's
is.
fine. I think we had a bit of a slow start for predictions, but I think I've ticked along all right this season. I think I've got 9. I think you'll have to confirm that for next week, because I really want to get double figures.
I think the
Everyone's waiting to find out.
I think the spreadsheet's been what's the word?
Destroyed.
No, a virus gets into it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's been
corrupted. Is it?
Corrupted, yes. I don't. Sorry, it's lost.
Oh. Look, few comments. Sharky said so happy for the win, but hated giving up that late goal. Me, not so much, but it would have been nice in the grand scheme of things for goal difference, which we'll talk about in a minute. Welsh Wonder Kids, massive win for the town. Bring on Charlton on Saturday.
Ken Boralis, what's different? McLean seemed much more fresh-legged, and he rotated last week. Scar solid at the back. Still felt a gap between the front two and the midfield, but just in general, it felt like Wrexham was on the front foot all match long. Even at half time, it was different than Wigan. Absolutely.
Yeah. Rhonda said it was brilliant. JB played like we wanted to win, unlike the past few where we played like we were trying not to lose. 2 to go.
Merculago, much better than the last. The challenge will be to show up like that for the remaining games. Yeah. Arthur Howard, I'm waiting to hear comments about selection and tactical ineptitude. Yes. Ineptitude, sorry. And Hawkeye, it was definitely better than the swear word Good Friday.
Yeah.
Is this from last week?
I don't know, you know. I'm going to go with this is right.
Okay.
Okay, this is Rick. So Rick,
it will, because he's put that comment there.
What an adrenaline rush with that first goal. The team played exceptionally well as Rathbone, James, Scar, Rodriguez and McLean had their best games of the season. The Wrexham fans had the stadium rocking. Saturday's going to be so exciting at home, and promotion would be surreal.
Neil Hayes, pretty good. Need to play that well next Saturday, now in what will certainly be a tougher game. You were spot on with your prediction as well. Yes, thank you for that, Neil.
Okay.
No one wants boring 1-0 wins now, do they? Oh, sometimes we do.
Yeah. Bryn Rees Hughes, that goal at the end annoyed the crap out of me. Chris Davis, what a rollercoaster season. Can we really end on a high? Just before we move on, man of the match for you. At Blackpool, if you had to pick somebody, you go for. I think I know who you're going to pick, but I'll throw a curveball in. I think
the obvious choice is probably Ollie Rathbone, but I'm going to go George Dobson.
Okay.
Purely because he is, as I've said before, he is relentless, and he just keeps going. Like, everybody says that, you know, Ollie Rathbone's like the Energize Bunny, but Energizer.
Duracell, I think.
Duracell, I'm thinking of. Yeah. Duracell Bunny. But I think George Dobson, there has been games where he's made a few mistakes, but on Saturday, no, not on Saturday.
Monday.
On Monday, he just keeps going, and I think, like you said, he played that sublime move. And I just think I love George Dobson. He's just I don't think is he from London? Is he a Cockney?
Yeah, he went to school with Elliot Lee.
Because he's like proper, like,
not in the same year, but
he like proper walks like a Cockney. And I just love him. I think because my granddad was a Cockney. My granddad, my mum's dad was a Cockney. I think it's kind of that sort of instilled in me a little bit. I just love a Cockney.
I think you could make cases for Ollie Rathbone, as always, George Dobson, as you rightly said, James McLean probably as well. But I think for me, I would like somebody that I have never said this about before, and somebody that I haven't always been really complimentary about, but I just felt like
Matty James.
Yeah, Matty James for me.
You said, didn't you? I think you said it was at the Bristol game. I've always loved Matty James.
Yeah. I just think on Monday, I thought he was just excellent on Monday, and I think for me he was probably my man of the match. And he doesn't get, and I'm always somebody who I would just be honest, and I don't think Matty always brings the right energy to the team in the way that we play. But on Monday, I thought I couldn't fault him on Monday, and I thought he was brilliant.
There was some very sexy football on Monday. I think some of the moves were like slick and
at times,
it was.
I think we need to take Monday and take that into Saturday and be better again. Yeah, I think probably.
So Monday roundup. So the score that everybody was chuffed about: Charlton beat Wycombe at home 4-0. So obviously Wycombe were at home, and they beat them 4-0. And it was like when we saw the first goal going, like coming up, it was like, oh, okay, this is good. Then the second, then the third, and it was like, and Sandy was actually in front. Sandy, who works on the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, he was there with his camera, and he was at the front, and he just put up 4 fingers, and it was like, and everyone was just like, oh.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's really good, because what that has done is in one round of games, that's wiped out the goal difference, which could become important later on, maybe not. But now we are level on goal difference with Wycombe when we have been quite far behind.
Just makes you want to get that. We should have had that third goal on Monday, and we would have been...
Or not conceded that one at the end, and we would have had a better goal difference. But it is what it is. Stockport won 2-1 against Huddersfield. I'm not going to talk about any other games because nobody else really matters at this point in the season. I think I've already mentioned, but Shrewsbury are relegated now, so just to mention that one. So, current standings. We are back in second. It is in our hands again. We are on 86 points. Wycombe are in third on 84 points. Charlton are fourth on 82 points, and Stockport are fifth on 81. So,
Charlton, do you know what? Charlton could...
Shut up.
No, I mean get to third.
Okay,
no, they can't. Because they're playing us next.
Just shut up.
No.
Right, the promotion race.
Yes.
Okay, so a couple of... I haven't done every variable, but there's a couple. The important ones are here for you to understand. So we are promoted on Saturday if we win and Wycombe fail to win. Okay? So if Wycombe draw or lose and we beat Charlton, then we are promoted on Saturday to the Championship. Okay? That is the most important one. That is the one that everybody wants. Okay? A win and a draw is enough for Wycombe to do it if we lose or draw both of our games. Boo. We don't want that one, but that gives you a scenario of that one. If we win one of the 2 games we have left, then Wycombe have to win both of their games to jump ahead of us. Okay? Okay, following it so far?
Following, yeah. I just don't like these scenarios.
Charlton can only overtake us if they beat us, and we fail to win away at Lincoln, and they win on the last day of the season. Okay, so there's a lot needed for Charlton. So the thing that makes Charlton game very difficult is they have to go all out. They have to beat us. A draw doesn't really do them any favours, okay?
Dangerous.
So they have got to go and they've got to win that game.
Yep.
Okay. the thing that does is it does open up a little bit of space as well on the pitch. When a team are trying to go all out to win a game, it might create a little bit more space. Okay. We saw what they did to Wickham, so the last thing in the world we need is for them to do that to us.
Parky, make sure you do your research against the Wickham-Charlton game on Monday.
Yeah, Saturday.
No, the Wickham-Charlton game was on
Oh,
Monday.
right, sorry.
And watch it back, I mean.
Right, okay. Yeah, of course he will. Look, so I think the one we want is, look, Wickham's games they've got left, they are away at Leyton Orient on Saturday. That is an early kickoff at 12:30. So by the time we play at 5:30, we will know whether or not winning takes us up. Okay, so we will know that before our game starts.
I think that's quite a lot of pressure, isn't it?
The players could just ignore it.
They're not going to, though, are they?
No, of course they're not. And Wickham's last game of the season is at home to Stockport on the 3rd of May. We have obviously got Charlton on Saturday, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then we are away at Lincoln on the 3rd of May. Charlton, they've got us obviously on Saturday, and they are at home to Burton on the 3rd of May. I've left Stockport out. Mathematically, they could do it. There are a lot of hurdles in between Stockport and actually getting promoted. So I've left them off for now. Maybe to my own detriment. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that one. Charlton.
So, the 26th of April is our 45th league game of the season, so our penultimate game and our last home game of the season. Kickoff is at the later time of 5:30 because it will be shown on Sky. It is home at the Stoke Hyras. Obviously, they usually play in red, but they won't be because we will be, so in your face. Their away shirt is yellow and their third shirt is black, so they could wear either. Then the last league game that we played against them, it was a 2-2 draw on the 26th of October. We were there. It was very disappointing.
Max gave away that sort of 97th minute penalty for them to equalise with that little handball he did, but there we go.
So currently their top scorer, and probably till the end of the season, is Matt Godden, and he has got 16 goals under his belt this season. They won 4-0 away at Wickham on Monday. They're fourth on 82 points. They've won 24, they've drawn 10, and they've lost 10. Unbeaten in their last 6, so they've won 5 and drawn 1. And they've only lost 1 in the last 13 games, which is disgusting stats.
Yeah, Nathan, I don't know if everyone's seen this, but Nathan Jones, their manager, he's Welsh actually. He did a little interview after the game that they played on Monday at Wickham, and he made a circus reference. So he said, we've got to go to the circus on Saturday. So obviously he's talking about the media circus that surrounds Wrexham.
Jealousy, Nathan Jones. Jealousy is a disgusting colour.
So it was quite an interesting, weird thing to say, but yeah, we're waiting for you, Nathan. So I
really hope we smash you now. I really hope you don't get any goals at all. We smash you and you get 20 yellow cards and a red card and everything that happened, everything bad apart from injury, because I really don't like people being injured.
You can't get 20 yellow cards, but...
I know, I was just being,
Okay. Prediction.
Ooh. I'm going to go 3-0. It's got to be.
Oh, do you know what?
3-0.
I am going to go, right? I think it's going to be such a tight game, but I think we're going to rise to the occasion massively. I'm going for 3-1, I am.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I know, it is interesting.
It's a bit boring, really, for me now. I'm not really that interested.
I know.
I'm not really bothered about the...
No.
But anyway.
You should have gone...
7-0.
7-4.
Wouldn't have mattered.
No, wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Look, quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we do the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other one is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. If you want to find out how to get on them calls, it is down in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube. Alternatively, you can go to the Wrexham AFC website, go to the Communities tab, scroll down to Health, and you'll find it in there. Alternatively, follow them on social media. They are at DragonChat WXMFC on X or at dragonchat.bsky.social on Blue Sky. It is quiz time, Siân. You don't need to worry about looking at this because you need to look at this for this quiz. So it's a Blackpool. We've been in Blackpool for like 3 days. So it's a Blackpool-themed quiz, okay, for you. And you're quite good at anagrams. So I'm going to throw some anagrams at you. And you need to let me...
I'll watch me bomb now.
Well, I'm maybe I've set you up for a fall.
Yep.
But,
Which you love to do.
But you are good at anagrams.
Okay, thank you.
So... if you are watching this on YouTube, I will put the anagrams up on the screen for you to play along as well.
I'm going to have to like pause before I give an answer.
I don't think you're going to know it straight away, are you? If you are listening to the podcast,
head over to YouTube.
The audio version, I have put the anagrams at the bottom of the description so you can play along as well. I'm very good.
Or go to YouTube, subscribe,
yeah,
and watch that way.
Are you ready for number one? There's 5 of these.
Okay, I don't know if I'm honest.
Okay, first one is Cowpoke Toll Bar. Cowpoke Toll Bar.
When you say, Blackpool Tower.
It is Blackpool Tower. Well done, Siân. Said she was good. If you didn't get that before she got it, you need to up your game because Siân's good at these. Okay.
Don't say that. Stop. You
got 100% so far.
Yeah, but you're just putting me up for a fall.
Putting you up for a fall.
What's the saying?
Setting you up.
Setting me up for a fall.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Number 2 is Quiet Skim Hacks.
Can
I be honest with you? I think this one's difficult. I'm rubbish at anagrams. I wouldn't get any of these. This is Quiet Skim Hacks. I think, don't feel bad about if you don't get this one. I would say this is the hardest of all of them. Okay? Quiet Skim Hacks.
Quiet Skim Hacks. Something with QU. I'm trying to think of like the places that we went. No, it's not that.
It's not a place. It's a thing.
A thing?
Yeah, I don't want to give you too much of a clue. Give me a chair, Squeaky.
Oh, give me a bit of a clue. I don't.
No, I can't really. I told you it's the hardest one, so it
yeah, no, but it'll annoy me, and I really want to get.
It'll annoy you when I press the screen in a minute, and you'll see what it is. Oh, it's all gone quiet now. No.
No. Okay.
No. Can I move on?
No.
We're not sitting here all day. I think you get 10 seconds.
Right. Let me just go to the next one.
No, yes. I'm not coming back.
Oh.
Quiet Skim Hacks.
Oh, it's not square.
We're gonna have to move on.
I don't know.
Kiss Me Quick Hat. That was very famous in Blackpool. A Kiss Me Quick Hat.
Yeah.
We will potentially we will have lots of Americans listening to this, going, "What the hell is a Kiss Me Quick Hat?" Should have bought one and worn it really on the show, but there you go. Google it. Google it. Number 3, reusable peach. Reusable peach. Now, I think you get 30 seconds for each one.
No.
Yes. We haven't got all day.
Pleasure Beach.
It is Pleasure Beach. Well done, Siân. What's that, 2 out of 3? You're rocking along. It does amaze me how good you are at anagrams, you know.
Why does it amaze you?
Oh, no.
I'm good at a lot of things.
I didn't mean it like that.
Thank you very much.
I didn't mean it like that. Don't take that the wrong way. Hog Tie Ben. Number 4. Hog Tie Ben. Hog Tie Ben. Ben.
The big one.
It is the big one. Well done. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a famous roller coaster that's in Blackpool. That is in the Pleasure Beach, actually. So there we go. Last one. Are you ready? Admire bold fool. Admire bold fool.
Bloomfield Road.
It is Bloomfield Road. Well done. Well done. Very good. 4 out of 5. You're not proud of the 4 you got, are you?
I'm just annoyed at the one I got
You're
wrong.
annoyed at the one you didn't get. Yeah. I think you probably had 5 times as much time on that one than the others, so we had to just scoot you along, unfortunately, there. Disgusting. There was another one. I was going to do another one for you, but then I realised that made it 6. I can't remember what it was now, so it's pointless bringing it up. I don't know why I did. So
I like anagrams. I love anagrams.
I know you do, and I thought you'd like that.
I do feel a sense of pride when I get them wrong, but when I get one wrong...
When you get them wrong?
When I get them right, sorry.
Yeah.
But when I get one wrong, it irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
That is going to annoy me for the rest of my life.
Do you think that the one wrong has affected you more than the 4 right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you know what? I can't knock that because it would be exactly the same for me. I am terrible at anagrams though. So I can't usually help with anagrams.
I'm really good at anagrams, and that's why it annoys me.
Don't worry about it. Maybe we'll do some more of these in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or maybe I would just do it in our private life. I'll just create some anagrams for you.
Do it.
A daily anagram for Siân.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right then.
A daily anagram.
Yeah.
That won't last very long.
Keep the marriage fresh, won't it? A daily anagram.
Oh, sexy.
Look, thank you very much for joining us. Next week, we're back to Monday. We are back to Monday at 6 p.m. And who knows what might have happened on the weekend by the time we get to the next episode. It's exciting to think what might have happened. But let's not stress. If it doesn't happen on Saturday, it might happen the weekend after. So let's just wait and see.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of your week. Join us again on Monday. Obviously, on Saturday, the game is later. We will be doing our normal match day preview outside the ground. So please join us. Throw some comments our way and we'll read them all out. And we'll do our full time straight after the game as well. So yeah, join us on Saturday. Come back for the podcast on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.